Hello and welcome to True Crime Diary, a light-hearted podcast on a serious subject. Every 2 weeks we look back through true crime stories to discuss an event that took place on this week in history. I'm your host Mark Decano, and with me as always are my friends Jed Lester.
Hello.
And Rue Turner.
Hello.
So the date we're looking at this episode is the 23rd of December, and in 1927 in Cisco, Texas, a man dressed in a Santa Claus suit, plus some accomplices, went into the First National Bank to commit one of Texas's most infamous robberies, and starting one of the largest manhunts ever seen in that state.
Merry Christmas. When was this?
Well, as I literally said seconds ago, it was December 23rd, 1927.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening to the year.
1927, a height of
the Roaring Twenties.
the 20s, yes. And,
Hey, here's a good question.
and gangster times.
What colour coat was he wearing?
Grey. Everything was in black and white in 1927.
What, I mean, I don't know the answer, but...
It would have been, at that time, the classic red that we know.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the classic green.
No,
The,
it would have been red.
It would have been, would it?
Yes.
I can't remember when it swapped.
Well, you know how everyone says that Coca-Cola started? That's nonsense. It was red before that.
Oh, was it? Okay.
It's just that they're very, very good at advertising.
Trying to...
Jumping on it.
Yeah, right. Okay.
That's a myth.
So, right, go on then. What's going on?
Get on with it.
I've got turkey in the oven. What have you got on the... You've probably got some sprouts.
Just
No,
Nothing else.
I'm
piping hot bowl of sprouts.
I'm just toasting my nuts, that's all.
Fine.
Won't you tell us all about it?
Start at the beginning.
So we're starting with a man named Marshall Ratliff, who was a criminal who lived in Cisco, Texas.
Cisco, I don't know where that is.
It's bang in the middle.
Is it? Right, okay, fine.
Now, he just got out of prison because he was in prison for bank robbery, unsurprisingly,
Yep.
given context.
Sure.
And he had received a pardon from the governor of the state named Miriam Ferguson. He was in for 18 years for bank robbery, but he got out in 2.
We're done. I haven't taken orders from you too long.
Ooh. Why did he get pardoned?
Well, the governor pardoned like 3,500 people.
Wow.
Was this a Christmas thing?
Well, yeah. It's like
yeah.
pardoning a chicken. Or
Yeah,
turkey.
yeah.
Pardoning a turkey.
Pardon chicken.
Yeah, why not?
Yep.
Some places don't have turkeys. Pardon a salmon in Norway. I don't know. But, yeah, there was. It was suspected that they were being bought. Buying pardons. Cash for pardons.
Okay. Right. But how much a pardon costs? Who does the money go to? What, as in a bribe?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Is that legal?
I'll buy a pardon. So he obviously did do that.
Oh, yeah. He was a well-known, proper bank robbery dude.
And to confirm that, he got out of prison.
Immediately got out of prison for bank robbery. He goes,
Decided,
what will I do with myself? I wonder.
what date is it? I'll wear
But then if I
this.
see, there seems to be a bit of a conflict of interest here. If I was in charge of like arresting people and pardoning people,
Yeah.
I would arrest them loosely on the knowledge that they would then pay me to let them out again so that they could commit another crime I can arrest them for.
Well, that's true.
If you pardon them, you're letting them out to commit another crime?
Exactly. So that I can then arrest them and get them to pay me to let them out again.
You mean it's a cunning plan?
Yeah, it's an income route.
Because you know that they'll do.
Yeah, they'll do something else. Yeah.
But that's what she's doing now,
Yeah.
isn't it?
That's what I'm saying.
So you're saying that you agree
But
with
Rue's saying that it's a calculated
Yeah.
ploy
Corrupt cycle
yeah,
of
absolutely.
payment and crime.
to then
completely, yeah.
then it happens again.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. That's why she's pardoned 3,500.
Get out there and earn me a living.
Earned a load of money off that, knowing that a very large percentage of them will
Yeah.
go.
Recidivists.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's a cunning plan, actually.
Right, go on then. So the snow's falling.
Snow is
Lightly.
All around us.
The bells are
Singing.
jingling. There's a choir and a salvation bucket
Salvation bucket.
But round the corner comes
Around the corner comes
lots of Santas
an army of Santas.
with gun. Do you reckon they have
This is
guns?
America. Yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
It's America in the
sorry,
20s. Everyone's got guns.
Yeah. I don't know. They could
There are
have
more
had
guns than people.
Could have had a angry reindeer attack.
Go
get the money.
Dad's. Well, with typical criminal acumen, he thinks, I know, I'll rob the bank in my own town.
Yeah. Brilliant idea. Yeah.
That's come up
The
before,
town
hasn't it?
where I've just
Where-
been pardoned.
Do you remember the Dalton Gang episode?
Yeah, yeah.
Where they went, let's rob the town
Oh, yes.
where everyone knows who we are.
Yeah.
But what I need is a cunning
A
disguise.
cunning disguise, exactly right.
That's topical.
No one will look twice at us Father Christmas walking down the
I mean,
street.
to be fair, I don't know what it was like at the time from the point of view of Santa's in a shop or on a corner or whatever. But now,
Yeah.
you go, it's a Santa. You wouldn't think twice or look twice. You wouldn't go, oh my God, it's Christmas, there's a Santa.
Not now.
You mean
No.
You mean the Santa?
Sorry, yeah.
Not a Santa. The Santa.
In fact, if they were all dressed as Santas, then that would have ruined some kids' Christmases. But, I mean, would it... Well, presumably it would have been vaguely similar of Mommy, it's Santa.
Yes. Well, this is the part of the plan that wasn't considered. If
yeah.
I walk down the street in a Santa Claus suit, will lots of little children come running up to me and go, Santa, Santa?
Well, not only did they run up doing that, but they ran up saying, "Hey, Ratcliffe,"
Exactly.
because they know him.
Oh, right.
It's me.
So it was a terrible disguise.
The children wouldn't have known. They would have seen Santa and ended there.
Right, yeah, okay.
But yes, but if any, he was his town. He was well known. In
Sure, yeah.
Also, he was a bank robber, so he was known as a criminal.
He was really good. Yeah. Wow.
So he was going to be him and his brother and two guys named Helms and Hill and a fourth accomplice for a safe man to do the vault.
Oh, right, yeah.
The first problem was that his brother got arrested before the job.
Oh, okay.
There was a man down, and then the safe guy got the flu. So then they got in.
So we're
another
down to
guy.
3.
So down to 3.
Yep.
And then they pulled in another guy named Davis, who was a friend or relative of Helms. So now there's Ratcliffe, Helms, Hill, and Davis. That's the 4-man team.
Yep.
This year, Christmas will be ours!
He's got the costume, the Santa costume, and they're going to steal a car, drop him off, and then move the car into position. Don't know why. So he's going to walk down the street dressed as Santa.
So he's not going to get out the car in front of everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So he gets out of the car, he walks down the street in Santa Claus suit,
Sure.
and everyone
Yeah.
else is going to go and put the car in the sort of the alleyway
Yeah. Round the back.
round the back, ready for him to
Back alley.
speed off.
Sure. So he's walking down the street on his own, and
He walks
everyone's
down the
going,
street,
Jingling bells.
jingling his
Santa.
bells.
Santa. That's a Texan
Yeah.
accent.
So the plan is he will go in, everyone would be
Jolly.
jolly,
Happy to see him.
and then his accomplices would come in from the side way, they'd rob the bank, and then exit into
What,
the
secretly?
alley, into the car.
Secretly rob it. Or
Well,
he could be part of the...
Ideally, it would be an armed robbery, but I don't want everyone to know.
Yeah.
What you don't want is a situation like the Dalton boys had, where everyone
Yeah.
picks up a gun and starts shooting.
Yeah.
out the bank. Remember that?
I want everyone to stay calm and hand over the money.
And have a very merry...
Yeah. Let Santa fill his boots.
Yeah.
So Santa Claus is walking down the street.
Why were you doing that? He was
Because
walking like
he's
a...
walking. Because you can't see
Like
my legs.
Santa would.
He's carrying a heavy sack of presents.
Was he carrying a sack of...
No, he wasn't.
He should have been.
Sackless.
Yeah. Should have had a sack.
I'd have. I tell you what I would have done. I would have robbed it, or the accomplices would have helped me rob it. But the calling card kind of thing is I would have given everyone a present, all the bank people.
Oh yeah, lollipops.
And then they would have thought, he's all right. As a calling card kind of, and also the people will think, honestly, officer, you treated us fine.
It was all right. Cheeky, beardy smile.
Yeah. What did that happen?
No.
That's a shame.
Not at all. I mean, the first problem that he had was that when children saw him walking down the street, he was surrounded
Sure, yeah.
by children. So he tried to be nice, and he sort of herded them towards the bank as best as he could.
them. Yep.
As he, is slowly trying to make his way to the bank, nudging them left and right out of the way.
Barging them out of the way.
Now, come on now, kids. Santa's real busy right now. There's a bank holiday coming up.
Managed to get rid of them basically as he was, kids, I'm going in the bank.
Yeah, sure.
Fuck off.
Santa business.
Yeah.
So he gets inside, there's 2 customers, 2 bank workers in there. And then, in from the bookkeeping room, the back room, there's 2 little girls, 4th graders.
Right.
And then another customer with a 6-year-old daughter, they come in because the kid wanted to see Santa, saw Santa going into the bank.
Oh, God.
So now you've got 3 little kids in the bank.
Yeah. Which changes things a bit, but...
Does change things a little bit. Then, in burst the accomplices.
Right, yes.
Brandishing guns.
Doing what they're meant to be, what they were told to do.
Santa whips out his pistol.
Oh, right. So he doesn't try and pretend, oh no, we're being robbed.
No, he's very much...
He's like, right, you lot.
He goes for the safe.
Okay.
Yeah. He has a sack. He did have a sack.
These kids are watching Santa being not very nice.
Yeah. He's on his own naughty list.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, they shouldn't ask for so much for Christmas. Otherwise, he wouldn't have to rob a bank.
Sure, yeah. And gun.
They'd be happy with a
gun.
tangerine instead of an Xbox.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Bag of nuts.
Kids today, they want it all, don't they?
So he had no thought of, hang on a bit, because there's little kids in the...
Well, contrary to what you might have seen in certain films and television programs, criminals generally don't give a toss about other people.
Yeah. Fine.
There's the criminal, the bank robber with a heart of gold. He was not.
Sure, yeah. So the others piled in.
They all pile in. He gets a sack from underneath his costume.
Yep.
In order for them to empty the vault into the bag. And they're all robbing the bank, basically.
Was the vault open?
He makes them open the vault.
Oh, okay. They just say to open it.
Open it.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, 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 open it. Open it.
Yep. Mary. Open the vault.
Mary, open the vault.
Or I'll kill you.
Now, the woman with the 6-year-old who came in to see Santa, they managed to escape through the office and they're out the side way, their escape route. They escaped from the robbers' escape route and start shouting that they're robbing the bank. She's raised the alarm.
They call him Father Christmas? They wouldn't, would they?
They call him Santa Claus.
Santa Claus is robbing the bank. What? You heard me.
Santa Claus is robbing the bank.
They all fell about laughing. No, honestly, he is.
He's loading his gun. He's checking it twice.
He is, yeah. So is everyone going, what are you talking about?
What the...
Dang bit.
Well, Police Chief Bit Bedford.
Bit.
His name was Bit. Him and 2 of his officers grab their weapons and they head off to the bank.
Let's go! Come on!
He goes to the alley and then he sends his 2 officers down to the back of the alley. So they've cut off the escape route. So the bank robbers realise that they're now going to be surrounded. So they gather up all of their hostages.
Loot. Oh, right. And loot, probably.
They've got the 2 bank workers, they've got the customers, the 2 kids, the 4th graders, and they've discovered 2 bookkeepers in the bookkeeping room in the back room. So they've now got like 8 people, and they decide they're going to use them all as a human shield to get into the alleyway and get to their car.
Yeah, basically. The kids will be the key element there.
Now, there's one other thing that you need to think about a little bit, is that this being the height of gangsterdom, mid-20s to mid-30s is... We've talked about people like Dillinger and Bonnie and Clyde and all that lot. This is a bit earlier. But at this point in Texas alone, you're getting about 4 bank robberies a day.
Well...
So crime is rife.
Texas is what? Twice the size of the UK?
I think way more than that.
Yeah, so,
I mean,
4 a day.
If you say that, there's not that many.
No.
Well,
it was fine.
Also, a lot of Texas is quite open, sparse land.
Yes,
so it's
that's
not
true.
like
Yeah.
there's areas the
It's not
size
densely
of Britain
populous,
with
yeah.
no town in it. So
There will be, yeah. At the time.
So 4 bags a day is quite a lot, certainly by that standard.
Yep.
So there's a law, well, not a law, there's a reward instituted by the Texas Bankers Association saying that anybody who kills a bank robber will get $5,000 reward.
Wow. And he has to be a confirmed bank robber, or can he just go,
Well,
he's a bank...
he's a bank robber. Bang.
Or
Bank robber, bang. Bank robber, bang.
you just kill someone and say, well, what did you do that for? Oh, he was a bank robber. Oh, was he? Oh, okay.
I'm sure he's going to rob a bank any minute.
There must be some small print.
You're a bank robber, you're a bank robber, you're a bank robber.
I'm not. He was a bank robber. Right, okay.
Well, presumably people who are identified as bank robbers, not just presumed by the citizenry.
I identify as
Not you identify, you are identified as.
my pronouns are...
Bank robber. So, of course, this means people say, hey, they're robbing the bank. The local citizenry go, ooh.
Oh, there's $5,000 in there.
Oh, yes, I see what you mean. Yeah.
And when
Oh,
they
so
say
that law had
there's
already...
4 bank robbers, that's 20 grand.
That had already passed, that directive.
The year before.
Right.
So that was good. And that law, not law, but I mean, it was a statute,
Yeah.
was on the books till the 60s, the 1960s.
Wow. Blimey. If you could argue that might have ultimately worked over time, but over time, would they have spent, considering it's $5,000 per, would they have spent more than what would have got robbed from banks? 5,000 times a lot of dead robbers.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
No.
No. Maybe. But I mean, I don't think so, because most of them would have been arrested by the
Actual people.
authorities.
Yeah.
But, of course, in this instance, it's not just the 3 police officers who rush out, it's a whole bunch of civilians who, just like with the Dalton gang, grab their guns, run off to the bank.
Yeah.
Not just
Open
grabbing
fire.
their guns, but there's a hardware shop over the road
Yeah.
that was lending them out.
Wow.
And you can just imagine it like
Imagine how
just
many of those...
passing out shotguns to members of the public.
Imagine how many of those he didn't get back.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so everyone was understandably thinking about the reward, which would have been gigantic, wouldn't it?
I mean, $5,000 in 1927
seriously, that
is
is-
about 85,000, 90,000 today.
Yeah.
And there's 4 bank robbers.
Sure, yeah.
So there's a lot of
So
money.
you're set up
Yeah,
for the time.
completely. So even though they've come out with these 8 civilians as a human shield, carnage ensues.
Right,
Gunfire, left, right, and centre.
Sure, yeah.
And they'll blow this town all to hell.
The 4 bandits are all wounded.
By the way, were the other 3 dressed... They weren't dressed
They
as
weren't dressed
Santa's
as
rat,
Santa.
because I was...
Elves.
Reindeer.
Should have been.
The,
2 of them in a reindeer suit
why did I get the bat?
with an elf riding on its back.
I can't see.
3 back halves of reindeer.
I'm just trying to determine that you could could determine if you were with a gun but trying to get some reward money that you could determine between the 3 robbers and the hostages, meaning they all looked like civilians, basically, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. You would have had 3 guys
With guns.
with
probably.
guns.
Yeah.
Probably shoot the guys with guns.
Yeah, fine. Yeah.
Don't shoot Father Christmas.
It's the kid.
And haven't bank robbers always got a handkerchief over their mouth?
Yeah, and nose.
They're tied round the back.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not get because the germs will get out if you don't cover your nose and mouth.
Exactly.
So yes, all 4 bandits are wounded. Some of the hostages are wounded
Because they've been shot at by lots of
by
random
lots of
people.
random people.
Where's Santa?
He's one of the wounded
No, is he?
bandits. Yeah,
They wouldn't.
but you
know
wouldn't
because
notice
he was
because
wearing red.
He's a red coat.
You shot me in my stomach. I'm gonna die now, probably.
Oh!
I'm shot.
Ow!
I've been slain.
Oh, God. The police chief
Yep.
and one of his deputies are killed.
Oh.
Fellas flew like a turkey.
They're not immediately. They are both wounded, but bad enough
Yeah.
that they succumb to their wounds.
He stands in front of the car in the alley and just fires continuously at them, but they shoot him 5 times. The police chief.
The police chief. Bit.
Just constant.
Yeah.
He stood there.
Give you a present. That's what I would have said. Open this for Christmas. Or what else?
What about fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la?
Do you want all the trimmings? I would have said that.
Any more? Please say no.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
Go on then, carry on.
Thank you. 6 civilians are also wounded in the crossfire.
Right.
Now they're fleeing, and they take the 2 little girls with them as hostages.
Oh dear.
The 2 fourth graders.
In their getaway car.
In their getaway car. Now, they haven't planned it terribly well because they didn't have very much gas in the car.
That's not very good, is it?
So they flee. They're chucking out nails in the hope of puncturing tyres of pursuing vehicle.
So nails tend to land on their side.
I was going to say, they just land like that. You just drive over them.
Well, I assume they bent. I don't know.
Tax. They might have chucked out tax.
Because it's like a Warner Brothers cartoon.
Yeah. Okay, but tyres legendarily were very thin at that point, so the chances would have been slim. But anyway.
Yeah. But they run out of gas, so they need to get another car. So they decide they're going to steal a car. They get to the outside of the town with this mob of townsfolk
Chasing them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's an Oldsmobile driving past, being driven by a 14-year-old boy.
Yeah. Normal setup.
Who's driving his mother and grandmother. Who
Of course he is.
back.
Yeah.
And
A Youngsmobile, more like.
but they stop this car, they get them all to get out, and they load everything into this new car.
Yep.
And then, once they're ready to go, they realise that the kid has taken the car keys with him when they force them out of the car. He's
I
got
realise that the seat's too near to the steering.
Too close to the
I can't
steering
drive.
Because his mum taught him, and you get out when you park the car, you turn the key, you take it with you.
Of course, yeah.
So Davis, the safe guy,
Yep.
who was they're all wounded, but he was wounded. He was unconscious at this point, so they left him in the car,
Oh, yeah.
the one they attempted to steal, and went back into the first car.
The one that didn't have any...
The one that was
petrol. One had no petrol.
nigh on out of petrol,
Right.
with the hostages, and drove off again.
What a palaver. All this faffing around. All the while, the people...
Slowly
presumably they're not-
catching up
I was
on
going to say
them.
very slowly
catching
up. But yeah.
Now, the problem is that because they've transferred them and the wound, Davies is the most badly wounded, and the hostages and all the money into the new car, then they had to transfer everything back in. So not only did they leave Davis, they left all the money in the car as well. So they drove off without the loot.
Yeah, okay.
With the hostages, but without the money.
Wait, I need that!
What they had stolen was almost $12,500 in cash and $150,000 in non-negotiable securities.
Holy bank balance!
But they hadn't
That's
stolen them.
huge.
But then they had stolen it. That's a lot of money.
They had
But then
stolen them, but they
stole
didn't
it,
take
but
them.
they've moved it down the road and left it in a
Yeah,
car.
sure. But you can still get them, can't you, in the...
Well,
you
they-
stole it.
Oh, they completely.
But we haven't got the
stole it.
money. Yeah, but you still stole
You
it.
stole it. What you do with it once you've stolen it is your lookout.
Yes, you bunch of idiots.
So now you've got 3 bank robbers and 2 hostages, and they get off the road in their nearly empty car, and they drive into rough scrubland. But of course, then the car's not powerful enough to get through the scrub, so they have to abandon it anyway and run off on foot. They leave the car and the hostages, so now it's just 3 robbers wounded,
With nothing.
fleeing on foot with nothing in it. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yep.
This is extraordinary. It's absolutely extraordinary.
So the pursuit continues, but Davis, the robber who's been left behind, succumbs to his wounds on Christmas Day.
Tell Tiny Tim I won't be coming home this Christmas.
He was unconscious, anyway.
He was unconscious in the
Yeah.
car. He died 2 days later.
On Christmas Day.
On Christmas
Oh,
Day.
dear.
On Christmas Day.
On Christmas Day.
In the morning.
Was it in the morning?
I don't know. It just...
For the purposes of this,
Let's say yes.
Say yes. Joy to the world.
So this pursuit, however, continues. So
Let's run after 3. Is it down to 3?
down to 3 wounded men.
Let's run after 3 wounded men who don't have anything on them. Lads.
Well, I mean, they're still robbers, and there's still
That is
$5,000
true.
on
Oh, yeah,
each of
yeah.
their
Sorry, I
heads.
forgot about that. Yeah. 15.
Still a
15 grand.
15 grand, yeah.
A lot of turkeys.
A lot of turkeys,
A lot of
yeah.
gravy. So they managed to commandeer another car being driven by a guy named Carl Wiley. They forced him to drive off the car. His dad saw them fleeing with the car and he fired a shotgun at them. But he only hit his son.
Oh, no. God.
So now they've got this new car, but they've got a wounded driver. They're all wounded, and the driver's now wounded. He's got buckshot. So they abandoned that car and him, steal another car. But Wiley, who's injured but alive, he reports back. Well, now the authorities now know where.
Yep.
They picked up the trail after a couple of days.
Yeah.
He says, they're all injured. They got no food. They're really in quite a bad way after.
Sure, yeah. No money.
It's ruined Christmas.
Absolutely.
What? This is #1 disaster.
Now, at some point, seemingly, it looks like the pursuing authorities managed to overtake them because the police are trying to cross a river when they see the culprit's car coming towards them. So they suddenly, basically, they've caught up with them, and now there's a car chase and a shootout, and as they're going across the dust bowl and oil fields and everything, they're driving and shooting, and it's like proper Keystone scenario.
Very obviously in Texas.
Yeah, it's kind of sepia toned.
Yes, yeah.
But during the pursuit and during the firefight, eventually the deputies in pursuit manage to get the upper hand and they take out some of the miscreants. Mm-hmm. Ratliff is hit and they get the car to pull over. The guys are running out with their pistols. And Helms and Hill get wounded again and they escape into the woods, but Ratliff is taken down.
How many times can you get wounded and keep going on?
Well, Ratliff, at the time of his arrest, had 6 gunshot wounds when he was arrested, and he was carrying 6 guns.
Was he? Oh, wow.
So, I mean, they were gun mad, I tell you.
Yeah.
There was a hell of a gunfight.
Still alive.
Yeah. So the hunt goes on for Helms and Hill, but Santa has been arrested.
Yep.
100-man posse goes on the hunt for Helms and Hill. With airplane assistance. It's about 50 law enforcement officers and 50 townsfolk.
Right.
Oh, okay.
They're finally arrested a week after the bank robbery on the 30th.
They were still alive.
They were still
anyway,
alive.
Regardless of the wounds.
Yeah, well, they were trying to get a lodging in a town named Graham.
Or
Graham.
Yeah.
Graham, Texas. But the guy letting the rooms went, these men have a lot of guns.
Yeah, and holes in them.
Yeah. So he reported them and they were arrested without a fight.
Right.
Because of their wounds.
Sure.
They were so exhausted and, badly wounded.
Absolutely,
They just
yeah.
gave up.
I'm not nuts. Don't you think I want to get out of here and see E.T. just like everybody else?
Ratliff goes to trial for armed robbery. He gets a life sentence.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't that a 99-year life sentence?
Well, yeah.
But it's kind of compounded by the fact that he's been done before. Well, was pardoned, basically, wasn't he?
Yeah, I'm not sure if they look at it like that.
Well, presumably you do, don't you?
I think he would have got life for the robbery, whether we'd done previous robberies or not.
Oh, okay.
And obviously, people died.
Yes,
it was armed
of course,
bank robbery. Helms, he went to trial second, and he was given the death sentence.
Was he?
Yeah, electric chair. What he did was they appealed, and then he attempted to feign insanity. The insanity clause.
Nay.
Yeah, sure.
They got a county jury to decide whether he was fit to be killed.
Are you sane enough
Are you
to
sane
die?
enough to die?
Let me guess. They all went, he's
Yeah. 10 minutes. They
What, really?
deliberated.
I knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely sane enough to
He's
go to the
fine.
electric chair.
Right, okay, yeah,
So-
I knew that. What do you think, lads? Yeah, he's fine.
So he was executed September 6th, 1929. Hill pleaded guilty, and his
Did the others not plead guilty?
no.
What idiots.
Yeah.
Well, if you plead guilty, you can get off slightly lighter than if you
Well,
say,
exactly.
I'm innocent, and then you get caught.
Sure,
Don't
yeah,
we?
yeah.
Yeah.
I did it. Did you? Oh, okay. Then.
Yeah, Ratliff, he got a life sentence. Originally, it was he got a death sentence, but he was appealed. He got life.
Yep.
Helms got a death sentence,
Yes.
and he tried to get insane, but
Oh, yeah,
failed.
yeah.
He was executed.
Yep.
Hill went in and he pled guilty. And what they did was, that between him and his lawyer, they decided, well, if you go up and just sort of give him a sob story, and
No, you go
you
up.
might.
No, you go
no, you go up.
Yeah. Give him a sob story, yeah.
But he went up on the stand. He basically said, "Oh, I was a poor orphan boy.
I was going to buy presents with it.
Yeah.
I grew up in a state reform school." Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, yeah.
So he got off the death penalty. He was given
Oh, right. That,
life
that
sentence.
worked.
Yeah, he got life sentence.
Oh, he got
Another
life.
99 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because 100 would have been unkind.
Yeah, sure.
So Ratliff, as well as the armed robbery sentence, he had another trial because of the killings.
So they were treated as
They were treated separate because of he was likely to get the death sentence for them.
Yeah.
They requested a change of venue, and he was tried for Police Chief Bitt Bedford.
Yeah, yeah.
In Avalon,
Which would have been big.
which would have been big, and the Carmichael, the other officer, to Anson. In Anson, he got another life sentence, but he got the death sentence in Abilene.
Sure, yeah, yeah.
So he's got 2 life sentences and a death sentence.
Does that cancel out?
Which one do you want to serve first?
Do you know what? Yeah.
He was waiting for his death sentence to be carried out. He was on appeal, and Helms, who tried to feign insanity and he failed, he went to the electric chair first. On the day that Helms was executed, Ratliff started acting insane.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the slight problem was that the citizens of the county were up in arms at the whole point. This trial's been going on for too long. Then they heard that he was on appeal and pleading insanity. They started causing uproar around the county jail.
Oh, yeah.
The fake Santa Claus lied.
They were planning to extradite him to another county for stealing the car,
Right.
the Oldsmobile with the 14-year-old driver.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So if we send him over there,
Technically steal
he
it.
can be tried for another.
In fact, he
robbery.
didn't steal it because he didn't have the keys.
Well, it is attempted. It was an armed robbery
All right, fine.
that
Yeah, yeah.
failed.
Yeah.
So they say, well, we'll send him over there. He can be tried for armed robbery, and that gets him out of the county.
Because it was
Quiet the
like
citizens, yeah.
pitchforks and fire sticks. No, that's you put that in your telly.
Glow sticks.
Yeah. Glow sticks. Yeah, yeah.
Now, unfortunately, it didn't get as far as transferring him because he attempted to escape.
Ooh.
This is Christmas, the season of perpetual hope.
When they unlocked his cell to transfer him, he got out, managed to get a gun, shot one of his guards, fought another guard until they beat him unconscious.
Wow.
So
Wow.
Ratliff's escape attempt meant he had to be put straight back into his cell.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, the crowd hear about this and they are furious.
Yeah. Of course, yeah, yeah.
By the end of the day, there's 1,000 people gathered outside the jail.
It's all building up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
And of course, this furious crowd.
What kind of crowd is it, sir? It's a furious one. Son.
They're absolutely livid.
Some of the men in the crowd
Yeah.
break into the jail,
Oh, God, this is awful, isn't it?
grab Ratcliffe.
Do they know it's Christmas?
They drag him out.
In fact, it isn't Christmas
And
by now, is it?
It's a week after. It's Happy New Year.
Oh, it is, right, yeah, okay, yeah.
And he'd been on a hunger strike as well, hadn't he? He was refusing food for a few days.
Ratcliffe.
Yeah.
Ratcliffe, yeah.
So he'd have been a bit on the pasty and pale and weak side anyway.
Well, that would have made him lighter and easier to.
To slip through the bars. Right, yeah, okay.
Well, like I say, some of these guys, about 20 odd folk, break into the jail. They drag him out of his cell. They throw a rope over some telegraph poles,
God.
and they string him up
Really, really?
twice.
It snaps.
The first time the rope broke, but the second time it
Wow.
was successful.
Yeah.
Blimey.
So he was lynched. They lynched Santa Claus. It wasn't dressed as Santa Claus at this point.
So where were all the police at this time? Technically, all of those
They were-
should be
They're
arrested.
hiding.
There would only
When
been a couple of deputies in the jail.
and it's
but
like
they were-
over 1,000 people massing outside to hang someone.
Right, yes, okay.
You don't go, excuse me, I say.
Can you not do that, please?
Well, I'm not gonna do anything about it.
It's
Stop
the
that.
most wonderful time of the year.
So what happens next? Well, as we know, they will have put his body on display.
Oh, right, yeah, of course. Yeah.
He was put-
Still in the Santa outfit,
no, he's not.
thus smashing the dreams of all the children.
Over a week later,
Santa's dead!
over a week later, he's not wearing
Bloodied
Santa.
beard hanging half off.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Only hooked on one ear.
There's many thousands of people going to see the
Really,
to look
really?
at the body
Wow, wow.
before it's actually
I did-
ordered to
I
be.
did that.
Well, you had a hand in it. What?
I helped him pull him up.
Finally, a judge says to stop that.
Yeah, it's silly.
Hide it, cover it up.
Yeah.
So they take him off display, and a funeral is arranged. And by a curious coincidence, on the day he's moved to a hearse to be transferred to his burial site, a Christmas parade passed by, led by a Santa Claus.
Yeah, right.
Purely coincidental.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's amazingly ironic.
No one ever prosecuted for the lynching.
Oh, yeah.
They go away with it.
We didn't see it.
Meanwhile, Hill, the one who didn't get executed
Yes.
or killed
Because he pled guilty.
because he pled guilty, he had a 99-year jail sentence, and he promised the judge and the jury that he would make a good prisoner.
I mean, I learned my lesson. I can honestly say that I'm a changed man.
However,
Right. No.
he then made 3 escape attempts,
Oh, okay.
recaptured each time.
Mm-hmm.
He was tried a second time because of the murder of the 2 police. He was tried for them.
Yeah, right.
But the jury couldn't reach a decision, so he just went back to do his armed robbery sentence.
For the
He
rest
didn't
of his
attempt
life.
to escape anymore, and in 1945, after 15 years, he was given a conditional pardon.
Really?
Apparently because of manpower shortages because of the war.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
They said,
okay.
well, you can go and it's a conditional pardon, so basically go and work in a factory
Right. Yes, okay.
and or part of the war effort. He went to do construction. Go and work because everyone's fighting in the war, and then you can be a conditional pardon. But he did eventually get a full pardon in 1964, and he died in 1996.
Oh, blimey.
So the First National Bank in Cisco isn't there anymore, but the sign that used to stand outside the front of it, that is still there. And in 1967, there's a plaque put on it commemorating those who passed.
Right. Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay.
Best Santa Claus robbery ever.
Yeah.
This is 2003 Stealing Christmas with Tony Danza.
Oh, yeah.
Small time crook plans to rob a department store disguised as Santa.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a Trading Places thing?
Yeah.
Dan
Dan
Aykroyd.
Aykroyd dressed as Santa.
Can't remember
He didn't rob
why
a bank.
was-
He he planted drugs in Eddie Murphy's desk.
Oh, yeah.
He says, I've caught him, I've caught him.
Yes, of course he did. Yeah, yeah.
And The Heist Before Christmas,
that went
2023.
There was, in 2005, there was a musical called The Great Santa Claus Bank Robbery, which was only performed in Cisco, Texas.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah.
But, I mean, there's been lots of books written about it. And then there's the story of Robert Hill, The Last Man, a novel of the 1927 Santa Claus Bank Robbery, which came out last year.
Wow. Have yourselves a merry little Christmas, everyone.
That's all for this time. If you want to know more about what we've talked about in this episode, Google it or something. You can listen to all of our previous episodes on our website, truecrimediary.co.uk. Please leave a review on your podcast provider if you can, or you can send an email to truecrimediarypodcast@gmail.com. My thanks to Jid and Roo, and to all of you for listening, and we'll see you again on the next date in our True Crime Diary.
La 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 la.